Hi, welcome to Pyrography Made Easy. I'm Brenda. In this episode, I will show you a quick and easy way to create a dark border on your artwork using a method sent to me from Trish. Trish has done a number of my projects, so I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen her work at the bottom of some of my blogs. Also, I'm going to show you a technique I recently developed to create straight lines. We'll begin with Trish's border method, so let's get started. Use a piece of metal and line it up on the edge of the border. Then use a torch to burn in the border. Always angle the flame of the torch away from your artwork. The metal shield I am using is a mudding knife with a wood handle. The mudding knife is Trish's wonderful idea. The wooden handle doesn't conduct heat, so it won't get hot no matter how long you're doing torch work. You can use a mudding knife of any size. If it is smaller than the artwork width, then just burn the border in sections. The only important thing with the mudding knife is that it is made of metal and has an insulated handle like wood. The torch I am using is a fairly cheap, refillable butane mini torch by Burns-O-Matic. The torch works okay, but it doesn't hold a lot of fuel. By the time I was done with the border on this project, it was empty. The border is only 8 inches long by a 1/2 inch wide, so it's not very big. If you are not working near the edge of the border, you don't have to use the metal shield. Just make sure you keep the flame angled away from your artwork. If you discover you missed a gap near the edge, just replace the shield and reburn over the area. After you are done torching the border, rub over it with a clean piece of paper towel. As you can see, a lot of carbon is on the paper towel after I was done. Refold the paper towel so you are always using a clean paper towel to wipe over the border. Continue to wipe over the border until the paper towel comes away without being solid black in color. Things to avoid. Now let's talk about some mistakes that I made so you can avoid doing them. With the first side that I burned, I had the flame angled towards the artwork. Yes, the shield is covering the artwork, but the shield does not make a perfect seal on the wood. This meant that there were little gaps that allowed the flame to char the wood under the shield. Looking at this, you can see all of the char spots on the art side of the border. My second mistake was that my pencil line wasn't very dark and I had a hard time seeing it. So I didn't line up the shield as well as I could have. Regardless of that mistake, the border edge was still a lot cleaner than my first attempt. So let's recap using the torch. First, make sure you can easily see the line. Second, always angle the flame away from your artwork. Third, never angle the flame towards your artwork. Now let me show you my technique for creating straight lines. Begin by using a ruler to mark where the line will go. Then use a straight edge and draw a line connecting those marks. Press a knife-safe straight edge firmly on the line and run a sharp knife along the edge, cutting a deep line into the wood that is approximately 1/8 of an inch deep. Next, place a thin pen tip into the cut line and gently pull the pen tip towards you. Don't exert a lot of pressure on the pen tip as you might veer out of your cut line. I am using a rounded heel pen tip by Colwood. but any sort of knife tip styled pen would work. Now reburn over the line, but angle the pen tip to widen it out. This will create a lopsided V-shaped groove that enables a shader pen tip to easily follow on. During the first or initial burning of the line, I don't burn very darkly, just in case I do veer from the cut line. A light-colored burn mark is much easier to remove than a dark one. On the reburn, I try to really darken up the line a lot. I do this by slowing down my hand speed or turning up the heat just a little on my burner. Sometimes I do both. A lot of that depends on how long of a line I have to burn in. Once your line is done, use the shader of your choice to burn in the border side of the line. Allow the edge of the shader to follow along the groove that you made while burning in the line. Here is my straight line technique being used on an art project. A pale pencil line has been drawn in, and I'm holding a metal straight edge very firmly in place on that line. Then I use a sharp knife to cut a deep line into the wood. Afterwards, I chose to erase over the line to remove any residual graphite. Then, I placed a knife pen tip into the cut line and gently pulled the pen tip towards myself. I am not exerting heavy pressure on the pen, and I'm not trying to burn a dark line at this time. During the reburn, I darken and widen up the line so that it will accommodate a shader pen tip better. Once the line is burned in, switch to a shader pen tip and burn a band of color next to the line. Then extend the color to the outer edge of the border. I did not use a torch for this because I'm not that good with a torch. Also, I'm not sure if I wanted the beveled edge on the wood dark, so I used a shader pen tip as I have a lot more control with it. Well, that's it for this episode. Trish, thank you for sharing the idea with me. I hope the video provided some useful information. On my website, Pyrography Made Easy, I have a written version of this tutorial along with a bunch of other tutorials and free patterns that you can download. Well, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next week.